We are in historic Kenton, a neighborhood in North Portland. This is the yellow line stop, Kenton Denver Avenue. So this is just a quick tour of the Kenton neighborhood. And of course, one of the most noticeable things about the neighborhood is we have a Paul Bunyan statue, but there is more to the neighborhood than that. So this is a place I pass through a lot. It's on the yellow line. It's the last yellow line before Delta Park. And I've been here before in my many years in Portland, but I didn't know a lot about it. So if you see around here, we have like a mini downtown area. We have a little shopping district. So I did some research about this. Apparently at one time this was a company town. It says meat market there. Maybe by coincidence. This was actually a company town for a meat packing business, and the railroad tracks are right along the Columbia River Slough. So for a long time this was not actually part of Portland. This was its own thing. And then as Portland expanded, it took this area in. And this is pretty new to me, you know, to see what's here. And I'm going to see if I can find some food somewhere along here. I stopped for breakfast, which is quality and a pleasant atmosphere in here. That was Posey's Bakery and Cafe. Had a quick meal there. Couldn't quite enjoy it because I'm in a hurry, but nice atmosphere. A lot of people kind of relaxing on this Friday morning. Friday is not a weekend. They did not have the biscuits. Anyway, I'm going to continue to see more of Kenton. An interesting piece of public sculpture. Hand holding a book. Very appropriate for Portland. So we're just going to continue to walk up the street. So this area with like the small shops, the restaurants, the cafes, the bars, the salons, this only goes for a couple of blocks along North Denver, although North Denver continues and turns into like a residential road going through North Portland. So as mentioned, this just turns into a residential road here. This is going to be a kind of short trip. I'm just walking through the area. So turning this way, and I'm going to go and see a park in this area. So a good amount of stuff going on in the street. And of course, this is just one corner of Portland. But this summer, the times I've been to Portland, it really feels like it's back in its vibe. In March and April, it just kind of felt low energy and downcast. Now I feel more like I'm grooving along. And at times, you know, people make fun of Portland for being whimsical, but, you know, at times I also really appreciate it. Like that. And even like that. I bet there's a story of the architecture of this building. I have no idea what it is, though. In general, like I said, this was a company town, so a lot of these buildings, late 1800s, and then some were probably built into the 1900s. And of course, today, you know, a lot of these areas are doing infill developments with dense housing. Not quite this far north, as far as I can know, but you know, there is continued development of housing in this area. And here's a post office. You know, I love post offices. This neighborhood is served by the number 4, which used to be the bus that went everywhere from North Portland to downtown and then went along Division. Now the Division route is the 2X, but the 4 is still a frequent service bus, so you'll see it all the time, everywhere in North Portland. It has kind of a route that hits a lot of different places. I used to ride it every morning to go to the Cascade campus of Portland Community College. Okay, and crossing the street, we have another park. And actually, I'm going to check, since I should know the name of this park. On with my first guess that this would be called Kenton Park, because this is the Kenton Park. So a park like this, Portland has a spectrum of parks, from pocket parks, micro parks even, like with Mill Ends, all the way up to Forest Park. And a park like this is a neighborhood park, not really a lot of natural areas, sports fields, and just a nice place to walk. So a nice neighborhood amenity, certainly making my day pleasant to walk through here. So I can't say the sky is absolutely cloudless, but it is only a few puffs of clouds. Right now there's a pleasant breeze. It's before noon. It's still in the low 70s. The temperature today will get into the low to mid 80s. So this is a perfect July day in Portland. Not too hot, but it's really the type of day that encourages people to go outside and get things done, have some fun. So has been the case a couple of times lately. No sooner have I made a pronouncement than it's proven wrong. I said there wasn't a lot of infill development and density housing going in, but look at what we have here. We have the Kenton Commons. So it looks like that trend of trying to provide housing in older neighborhoods with infill developments, high density housing, or at least medium density housing, is happening here too in Kenton. Don't know what the exact mix of this housing is, whether this is low-income housing or if this is Tony or a mix of the two. But there is housing going in all over the place in Portland as quick as we can. So I'm about to return to the train station. I have other places to be. This was just to stretch my legs, get some food. But one of the points here is a lot of times when people talk about Portland, they pretty much, it's like downtown Portland and the rest. But the truth of the matter is there's like lots of little almost micro Portlands with their own downtowns, their own scenes, their own local landmarks. There's a library here. So somebody, you know, can be a Portlander and they're never, well, I won't say never going downtown, but like their community life is centered around a particular neighborhood with its own shopping district and stuff. And the thing about like an area like Kenton, it's charming, but it's not quite major enough to draw tourists. Oh, we also have some industry here. Wonder what the story is there. And so a lot of times people will go to Portland, they'll see downtown, and then they'll see the Rose Garden, etc. And neighborhoods like this are charming, unique, part of the community life, but maybe people don't stop here, so it doesn't really get reported, get described. And then one other thing, across the street, we have the dancing bear, as in naked, not like a bear, as you might be able to see from the sign up there. And that's actually part of Old Portland, and that has been there forever. I remember when I was a child and my mom would take the big articulated number 5 bus from Vancouver to go to PSU, that we'd pass by that, and I think she had to kind of like not answer what that was exactly. And that is closing down, so maybe that's a part of Old Portland that's going away, but the people don't mind too much. Anyway, here's the yellow line stop. Interesting thing about the Kenton neighborhood borders is this is what most people would think of as Kenton, what I think of as Kenton, but actually the area down to Delta Park is all part of the Kenton Neighborhood Association. Anyway, so that was a brief introduction to one part of Portland. Like I said, there are dozens of neighborhoods in Portland, and I wish I could cover them all, and this was just a short introduction, but I hope it showed something about what Portland is like. So I'm going to wait for the yellow line going north and go on my way this way. One final shot. Here's the yellow line coming in, and I've ridden the yellow line through here so many times, but it's not often that I actually get on here, and it actually is coming in pretty fast. It is booking it because we have places to be, even though it only has 2 more stops. Okay, and now I'm getting off the platform and getting on the train.